going on, guys? It's Near25 here, and welcome back to another episode of our Minecraft adventure. So in the last episode, we were filling out more of our little map here, and we're going to be wrapping that up today before we head down into the mines for the next 5 episodes after this, before we get ready to wrap up the series. Which, you know, it's still kind of crazy to me that that's happening, right? But exciting nonetheless. Because with Season 2 wrapping up, that means Minecraft Generations is starting! Woo! Because, I mean, if you guys remember, I came up with this idea in Season 1. I can't quite remember necessarily how far into Season 1, but I know that it was in Season 1, and I know I was mining when I came up with the idea. Not that that narrows it down, because I love mining, and we weren't so enchant / diamond lucky in that season, so we actually were mining quite a bit. Not that I was complaining, of course, because I love mining, but for those of you that were gonna maybe go try and look back to be like, oh, it was on episode whatever at this timestamp, you know, that's the best I can give you, is that I was in Season 1 and I was mining. So good luck if that is what you're planning on doing. But yeah, so obviously, you know, we'll say there was at least half a season since I came up with the idea, and then pretty much this entire season. So, you know, it's been a season and a half since the idea was formulated. But obviously I couldn't really do it on Bedrock. It only could really be done on Java, at least to my knowledge. I don't think you can go back versions on Bedrock, but I also don't think Bedrock Alpha would be the same as like Java's Alpha, which technically is the real Alpha, because Java was out way before Bedrock even existed, like way before. So yeah, don't quite know the logistics on that, but nonetheless, we're obviously on Java now because we are playing on Java. Because I'm on my laptop and not my PS5. So, since we are playing on Java for Season 2, then obviously we can go back to Alpha for Season 3 and Minecraft Generations like I want. Or like the idea, I should say, that I came up with. Which is going to be super exciting. Just like that hole looks super exciting, and the cave probably that is inside of it is super exciting. But we've still got an amazing cave back at home that we need to finish exploring before we can even think about going anywhere else. And also, of course, you know, the season's pretty much over, so yeah. Because, like, I've been thinking lately, like, you know, about the whole, how I think Minecraft season should go 200 episodes, because that's a good roundish type of number, and you can do a lot with it, because it's Minecraft and everything. I've been thinking more along the lines of that, and, like, if you were, like, a builder person, or, like, a creative type, which, unfortunately, I am not. Oh, the rain's done. Oh, and the sun's going down too. Like, I think you easily could probably, or if your audience was like fine with a lot of like cave exploring, especially because technically like all the caves are unique, right? And like they're so expansive and massive now compared to back in the day. You know what I mean? Like, and if your audience was like okay with you spending a lot of time, like even if it's not necessarily for like resources that you need, like it's like, okay, you know, like we need diamonds to start making battle gear, so let's go mining for some diamonds. Even if it's just for the hell of mining and like just for the love of mining, you know, like just going just because you want to, which, you know, obviously we already know that I'm there, but, you know, if it's not something you guys want to see, then that's irrelevant on what I want necessarily, because, you know, it'd be boring. Oh, well, hello, random waystone. Look at you, even have yourself a little pedestal so you're not on the ground. Ain't that cool? But I feel like, you know, with if, and again, like I said, if you were like the builder type or the creative type, which again, unfortunately, I am not, I feel like you very easily could get to like maybe possibly even a 300, 400 episode season. I feel like on Bedrock, it'd be easier to do that, especially if you're going for all of the achievements. Because, you know, like, you could respawn the Ender Dragon, you know, that, because that's an achievement for Bedrock, is to respawn the Ender Dragon. You know what I mean? Like, so there's definitely, I feel like Bedrock potentially has a little bit more longevity to a season, if you will. If you wanted to go longer than 200 episodes, but I still, personally, I think 200 episodes is a good rounded number. Now, Minecraft Generations, however, due to the nature of it, that might not necessarily get to... Well, actually, no. That will be longer than 200 episodes, because we're currently on update 1.21. And even excluding alpha and beta, if we were to do 10 episodes per update, which is what my plan is, we'd already be at 210 just to play through every update from 1.0 until now. But putting alpha and beta into that, we'll actually be at 230 episodes. So technically, just for playing the game how I want Minecraft Generations to go, we'll be over 200 episodes. So I guess that's another way to do a Minecraft season longer than 200 episodes, is to play Minecraft Generations and do 10 episodes an update. But I still think that will be manageable and easily enough to do, to stretch 10 episodes per update, because on top of the normal like Minecraft logistical stuff of like, you know, like getting diamonds for battle gear, getting enchants for battle gear, you know, going out and exploring the world just in general, you know, looking for the end portal, exploring inside of the nether, etc., etc., etc. Apart from all of that stuff, like, as each update happens and the new stuff gets introduced or whatever, you know, like, we'll have to go and explore it and check it out, right? And see, like, what's quote-unquote new to the game or whatever, you know? So that'll probably take up 1 to 2, possibly 3 episodes, depending on what update it is, you know, in and of itself. Let alone, you know, oh, you know, we got new blocks that we can build with, and we can make new things now. So, you know, we can spruce up our base by adding, you know, this specific thing to it now. You know, this new block type or whatever, or etc., etc., etc. You know what I mean? So I think Minecraft Generations will be good for content, as far as, like, you know, repetitiveness or keeping things sort of fresh is concerned, which will make my life a lot easier. And I don't think, though, I'm going to go for 100% advancements again, like we did for this season. And I know since I'm not playing on the latest update, we're not technically at 100% of Java's advancements. But for this update that I'm playing on, we are. Because obviously I'm on a lower version because of the Waystones mod. Because, I mean, I probably could have updated midway through the season to the latest version, because I'm sure by now the Waystones mod and Fabric has updated to the latest version of Minecraft, but it was kind of a bit of... I'll be completely 100% honest with you guys about this. It was a mix of being so close to the end of the season and me still being a complete nublet when it comes to modding and stuff like that, and not wanting to mess anything up, and being scared that I'm going to mess it up and not knowing what I'm doing, and just kind of being lazy about finding out if it is on the latest version and, you know, swapping it out for the current version that I'm using and all that jazz. So a combination of those three factors is why we never updated to the latest version. But we missed the Pale Gardens, and my other reasoning behind it is it's gonna get covered in Minecraft Generations, so we're good, you know. It will be covered in Minecraft. Oh, those poor horses. Maybe they're not. Maybe it's not a sad time. Maybe they just went down to take a little bath. Maybe they just went down for a little bath. So they're not fully separated from their friends, and they'll get back up once they're done bathing and stuff. Is bathing even a word? No, it's not. It's bathing. Wow, English is so hard, isn't it, Aiden? My goodness, bathing. That's embarrassing. That just came out of my mouth. All right, whatever. And also, today's episode might be a little bit of a shorter one, depending on how quick we finish clearing this map out. I know I mentioned that last episode that it potentially could be. It also potentially could be longer, depending on how long it takes us to fill this map out. Because I want to just get it done in this episode so we can go straight to the mines in the next episode and not have any sort of overlap. So this is either going to be shorter than 40 minutes, right on 40 minutes, or longer than 40 minutes. It's going to be one of those three. Unfortunately, it can't, I guess not unfortunately, but obviously it can't be more than one because no duh, right? Oh, that poor pupper. Hold on, I need to make a way for the pupper to get back up. Come here, pupper. Wait, where did you... Yeah, come on, buddy. You can come back up. Yeah, because you probably separated from all your friends. Oh, he doesn't have any friends around. That's so sad. Oh, I need a bone. I want to take him with me now because he's all by himself. Oh, the poor little guy. I feel really bad. He's all by his lonesome. All right. Well, he's got enough animals around, so he's got enough food. He'll be okay. It's just sad that he doesn't have any friends with him, you know? His pack members, if you will, you know? Oh well, it's okay. Like, look at how this just looks gorgeous to me. I don't know, man. I love this game, guys. I really do. It's just something about this game that I love to death, and I will never say otherwise. I genuinely don't think there will ever be a time where I say I don't like this game. You know what I mean? I just genuinely don't. Love this game to death, dude. All right. Oh, is that by chance a ruined nether portal? It is. I'll check that out later though, because we'll end up coming back to fill more of the inside of this map out shortly. So I'll check out that ruined nether portal once I get there. And you know what's really crazy? I've always thought about, like, after I watched, like, just for a split second anyway, after I watched the Matt Pat's game theory video, and like he explained why all the ruined nether portals are around or whatever from when the piglins invaded and yada 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 and all that jazz. And that obviously does make perfect sense. But then I thought about it. I'm like, but then why are there so many underwater? Because it's like, it's not like the piglins would have been able to survive underwater. And I have two theories with, I mean, granted, it's not like they would have been underwater for long. But I have two theories of that, guys. So here's my two theories for that. My first theory is that they weren't always underwater, but they were like, you know, built on a platform in the middle of the ocean, and as like erosion happened as time went on, right, which happens, you know, in the real world, they just sunk down, right, and now they just sit at the bottom of the ocean, right, because obsidian probably is a lot stronger and won't, you know, erode in water, but like the stone and stuff that they would have been built on, you know, that would erode, right? So that's why, that's one theory that I have. The other theory that I have is because, as you guys know, another portal, no matter what dimension you build it on, where's that fire? Oh, there's a village here. I went right past this. Or unless, was this that village that I was looking at from up on the mountainside, and I was like, oh, okay, there's a village here. No, I had to have gone right past this one. Okay. You got a bunch of campfires around here, next to trees. That's probably not the smartest idea, but you know. At least they live in stone houses. Oh, food. Oh, cool. Okay. All these pumpkins, too. I don't really care about the maps or the paper. Okay, so there's two babies and a farmer and a do-nothing. We don't care about the do-nothing, of course. They have a horse. That's interesting. I've never seen a horse at a village before. Okay. There's 3 babies here. Actually, I don't want the potatoes. I'll take the bread, though. Okay. So there's 3 babies and 2 farmers and a do-nothing. Okay. Ow. I actually don't think that the farmer, or that do-nothings can breed. I genuinely think they just do nothing. So that obviously means that the babies are both from the farmers. Clearly. Okay. Ow. I did. Oh, there is one cartographer here. Is this up here just gonna have more maps and? Oh, it's got bread too. Don't worry, guys. I'll finish my point and my theories and stuff in a second. I got distracted by this village. Oh wow, that's a great chest. Could you imagine if you found this freaking like in the beginning? Oh! Oh! That's so cute! Oh my god, that's adorable. I'm actually crying right now. I'm not really, but that was really freaking cute though. But, so my other theory is, because, like, you know how, like, whether you build a nether portal in the nether or in the overworld, whatever Y coordinate you build it on is where the portal appears, right? So my other theory for why some of the portals are... I didn't lose my cat because it was sleeping on the freaking chest, did I? Whatever. my other theory for why some of the portals are under the water is wherever those groups of piglins were in the nether when they built the portal to invade, that was, the Y elevation that they were in, where it just happened to be where there was water in the overworld. Ergo, they end up where they end up. Which one of those two theories that I have is the correct one, I do not know. Both of which genuinely are plausible, though. Which is kind of neat. Let me know I don't know if you guys have any theories on that, and if you do, let me know down below in the comments. It'd be kind of cool to hear what you guys have to say. And your ideas about why some of the nether portals, or some of the ruined portals, rather, are under the water. Compared to being in the overworld, like out in the overworld. And I'm also kind of curious how, because, when the piglins invaded, they were attacking, villages and stuff, right? That was the whole, they came here to basically, take all of our stuff, kill all the people, etc., burn everything to the ground, etc., and then, loot all of our stuff because they've ran the nether dry of all of its stuff, right? But, sometimes the nether portals, the ruined portals, are just literally out in the middle of nowhere, or, not near any sort of civilization. Which confuses me, because I thought that was, again, like I said, the whole point of them coming here is to basically pillage everything that the overworld had to offer. But I also have a theory on that, and that is that, they, where the portals are, there were villages there when they came. But due to the attacks and the ensuing battle that happened and everything, those villages in particular got destroyed completely, with not a trace left. And the villagers had to relocate to, other places, especially after they broke up into their different tribes and whatnot. Hence, why there are well, actually, no, I don't think I've ever seen a village in a close proximity to one of those ruined portals. Hence why there are no villages near the ruined portals. That's my theory with that, anyway. How true that is, again, I don't know. But that's my theory with that. So that's basically my theory on everything related to the ruined nether portals and everything. But that's just a theory. A game theory. Thanks for watching. Yeah, no. But I guess, it is kind of interesting to think about, though. But that's genuinely, though, another thing that I love about this game, too, is, it makes you think, right? Can I really not? Good, okay. Oh. The lore behind it, it's not, necessarily as simple as, I don't know, Pokemon, for example. We know about Sinnoh now more, or we know more about Sinnoh now because we played Legends Arceus and we saw the Hisui region. We know the lore of Sinnoh now. We know the lore of this, that, and the third about Sinnoh now because of playing through Hisui in Legends Arceus. Although, in my own opinion, that also creates a lot of plot holes, and it still aggravates me not plot holes necessarily, but it create some holes that still aggravate me to this day. Goated game, though, by the way. Absolute 10 out of 10 freaking game is Legends Arceus, but there are just some things about it that I personally don't like, and that because they don't make sense. And then the fact that some of those things were brought to Gen 9 aggravate me even more, because that makes even less sense, because we're back in the present day now. But the only reason I let it slide a little bit is because of the whole gimmick behind Scarlet and Violet being a time machine. Now, some of you may be wondering, based off of me saying all that, well, what's your gripe with Legends Arceus? And again, it's not necessarily my gripe with that game, and with the game in particular, more so with Game Freak. Because so let me put it to you guys this way, okay? So prior to Legends Arceus coming out, okay? For example, Stantler and Ursaring did not evolve, and Qwilfish was a water and poison type Pokemon, even in the Sinnoh region. Okay? Well, flash forward, well, I guess technically flash backwards in time to Legends Arceus. Well, now Stantler miraculously has an evolution into Weirdeer, goated Mon, by the way. Ursaring evolves into Ursaluna, which Scarlet and Violet's DLC makes an alternate form of, called Blood Moon Ursaluna, which makes even less freaking sense to me. And then Qwilfish is a poison and dark type Pokemon that also evolves. Now granted, I assume Qwilfish is dope as hell because I also like regular Qwilfish, so I did use it. I just did not use Overqwil because I don't like the design of the Mon personally. But none of that makes sense to me. Because I understand evolution and all that, and, you know, we evolved from monkeys, and we obviously don't look anything like monkeys, don't act anything like monkeys, you know, are superior in most ways, I will say, to monkeys, right? I get that fine. But we still have a lot of similar traits to monkeys. And, quite honestly, a lot of other mammals. But I don't understand how, over time, Stantler just forgets, like through different generations of it, it just forgets that it can learn the move Psy Shield Bash, which is the way to evolve it to Weirdeer, which means that Weirdeer theoretically goes extinct, and Stantler is the only Pokemon that, you know, is left that can do that. Or, you know, is just all that's left. That just doesn't make sense to me. Or the... Oh, well, you know what, actually. Ursaring... okay, now that I'm actually thinking about this in my argument, Ursaring is the only one that actually sort of makes sense with this. Because it obviously, you know, it evolves with a peat block on the night of a full moon. Well, peat blocks eventually, I'm assuming, they're a non-renewable resource. So once you run out of them, that's it, they're done. And with that being the only way to evolve into Ursaluna, that one makes sense, actually, why Ursaring doesn't, or why Ursaluna was not, you know, anymore. Doesn't explain how Blood Moon is still around. But that's another topic for another day, I guess. But that one, okay, so that one is the only one that I genuinely think would make sense as far as that's concerned. Because peat blocks are non-renewable. I guess same with Scyther to Cleavor. Black Augurite probably is a non-renewable resource, so when you go through all the Black Augurite, which is what Scyther uses to evolve into Cleavor, you can't evolve Scyther into Cleavor anymore. So that, okay, those two check out. But like quillfish, for example, I don't understand. I mean, granted, I guess maybe because they live in the water in Hisui as well, but like I don't get how we go from a poison dark type that evolves to a poison water type that does not evolve. Now, granted, I guess because like, and that there's two plot holes I find with that. One, where does the dark typing go, and why does it get replaced by water typing? Along with the design of the mon almost entirely changing, right? And if quillfish itself changed to a water and poison type, why did overquill not? Because I would assume, I mean, I don't know, because I actually don't even know if regular quillfish is in Gen 9, and if it is, I don't know if it learns Bar Barrage, but, because that's the way to evolve quillfish to overquill, is to use Bar Barrage 20 times, a strong style Bar Barrage 20 times. But, if regular quillfish still gets Bar Barrage, and that's the only thing that you need to do to evolve Hisuian quillfish to overquill, why can't water poison quillfish evolve into a water poison overquill? If you're going to argue the whole, well, you know, as you said, we evolved from monkeys and we're not monkeys anymore, we just share a little bit of similar traits, which the poison typing would be the similar trait, and it lives in the water, so maybe eventually the water just became its, you know, natural thing or whatever, blah, blah, blah. I get your argument on that, sure. But what overquill would obviously get the same treatment. No? Then let's see, what are other ones that I made? Enamorous. I understand that, you know, Enamorous is a seasonal Pokemon, as are the other three genies. They're weather elementals, you know, or whatever the case, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But those three are native to the Unova region. So for one, why are they in Hisui to begin with? And for two, Enamorous is there in Hisui, but not in Unova at all. And not in Sinnoh later on at all. It completely just ceased to exist. That doesn't make sense either. Or Sneasel. It's a poison fighting type, I think, right? Or is it just regular poison and then it becomes poison fighting when it evolves? I don't fully remember. I know Sneasler's poison fighting. I can't remember Hisui and Sneasel now, though. I just know it's a poison type. But nonetheless, how do you go from a poison type? And I mean, I guess again, it's found in the Alabaster Icelands, so maybe it just over time it evolves to adapt to the surrounding area, so it becomes an ice type for that reason. I guess I don't know. Like that's the theory that my buddy ended up telling me, is that like they just eventually over time they evolve. And so, like, their typing changes and everything because of that. But again, at the same time, well, for one, where does the dark typing come from in that instance? I can understand the ice typing, but where does the dark typing come from? And why does it evolve into Sneasel now? Or, I'm sorry, Weavile now instead of Sneasler? Again, if Sneasel is adapting to that environment and becoming an ice and dark type because of it, shouldn't Sneasler also, since it also lives in the same environment? You know? Let's see, what other ones stand out to me really, really bad in Hisui? Or, you know, the variety of Pokemon. There are so many different varieties of, like, different generations of Mons in Hisui. But Sinnoh only has Gen 4 Pokemon with some Gen 2 and some Gen 1. And some Gen 3. But even then, even with those generations, it's only some. You know? And coincidentally, I think probably 90% at a minimum of the Gen 1, Gen 2, and the Gen 3 that it does have are not in Legends Arceus. Now, granted, I do understand that the Gen 5, 6, 7, 3, all of the other generations of Mons on the planet, we'll just call it Earth. I don't know if it's actually planet Earth, but in the Pokemon world existed in Hisuian times. But they shouldn't have existed in Hisui. And back then especially, travel wasn't as easy to, access or as plausible as it is in modern times. So it's not like you could even argue that Pokemon, were brought there from another region from people on vacation or just because or etc. etc. And then, ended up breeding and flourishing in the region or whatever. That just doesn't make sense either. And Lilligant, for example. Now you can argue the whole, oh, holy mother of God. Wow, there's a Lush Cave down there. Now, you can argue the whole Alolan Executor deal where Execute in every other place around the Pokemon world but Alola will just evolve into regular Executor, but in Alola, because of the climate and whatnot, it'll become Alolan Executor. But that doesn't make sense for Lilligant. Because literally the only reason why... Oh god, I hope all this gravel doesn't freaking fall. That doesn't make sense for Lilligant because Hisuian Lilligant evolves from a Petalil with a Sunstone in Hisui. That is just flat out the evolution. It's not a whole, if you catch an Execute in Alola and evolve it with the Leaf Stone, it'll become Alolan Executor because of the climate. It's just flat out, our Petalils evolve into this Lilligant here. Which, that is a two-parter, because for one, in Sinnoh, when we get there in modern times, Petalil is not a Pokemon that exists in that region. And for two, even if it did, because we'll just argue that Black and White's timeline is the same as Diamond and Pearl's. It evolves into just regular old Unova and Lilligant, which would mean that even if it was in the Sinnoh region, that's the Lilligant it would evolve into, not Hisuian Lilligant. And that doesn't make any sense, because again, I understand the whole theory of evolution deal or whatever, blah blah blah. But how does Lilligant change, or Petalil for that matter, change that much over time when it itself doesn't change, just its evolution will. But when it doesn't change enough to be able to change, but its evolution changes from a grass fighting type that's very thin and very dance orientated to a more plump version that's, I guess you could still say dance orientated, just different types of dance, I guess. I don't know, Or I guess you could even say that Unovan Lilligant is more flower-esque than the Hisuian version. If that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like regular Unovan Lilligant looks more like a flower to me. You know what I mean? Does that make sense, guys? Compared to Hisuian Lilligant. But I don't know. They're just... And then, so like, so then with all that being said, but then somehow we flash forward to the present day timeline wise in Scarlet and Violet, and you can get all of these Hisuian Pokemon and use them in the game. Well, that just doesn't make sense. Oh, that's another one, Basculegion. How does White Stripe Basculin turn, not only not be able to evolve anymore once it becomes the blue or the red Stripe Basculin, but how does it become two different types of Basculin? And Basculin on its own makes even less sense than Shellos does, because it's not like on one side of Unova is red Stripe Basculin and the other side of Unova is blue Stripe Basculin. You can find them in the exact same, both colored Basculins, you can find them in the exact same patches of water. So, also arguably, like, there's no point in them even being different Pokemon. I mean, granted, they're not, but like, different variants of each other. That's kind of silly, but that's definitely just another talk for another day, and that's a talk all about Gen 5. But where does the White Stripe Basculin go, and how does it evolve? If not, I mean like evolve as in like theory of evolution evolve, not evolve as in going to Basculegion evolve. How does it evolve from having a white stripe to having a red a red or a blue stripe? And same as with the other Hisuian Mons, why, with that being the case, even if it is the case, why do those red and blue stripe Basculins not know how to evolve into Basculegion? Because would Basculegion not also evolve with the same traits? You would think, right? Because to get Basculegion, all you have to do is just take a bunch of recoil damage with a white stripe Basculin. Which, blue and red stripe Basculin, they learn all the same recoil moves that white stripe Basculin does. But again, that's also another Unovan Mon as well. So the other same question presents itself. How and why is this Mon in Hisui, but it's not in Sinnoh? Like, the only one with that one in particular that I get, and even I guess with Petalil and Lilligant as well, since they're Unovan Pokemon, the only logic I have with that is that they became extinct somehow in Hisui as time was going on, but not in Unova. And in Unova, from day one, it was, Petalil evolved into Unovan Lilligant, and red and blue striped Basculin were just worthy Basculins. And for some reason, because of how Unova's environment and ecosystem or whatever is, they were able to survive all of the different centuries and whatnot, and decades and everything, where the Hisuian ones were not able to, I guess. And that's why they exist in present day and the Hisuian ones do not. But again, nonetheless of all of that, you're still able to use the Hisuian Mons in Scarlet and Violet, which just doesn't make sense to me, because they shouldn't exist anymore. Like, and I know that's just such a minor thing to gripe about, and everybody's gonna just say, like, that is the most boomer take I've heard in my entire life, but, like, genuinely, though. Or even the starter Pokemon. I forgot about the starter Pokemon. Well, okay, I want to finish. We're done with the map, and we are over time, but I want to finish my rant now, so we'll start walking back home while I finish my rant really quick. The starter Pokemon, though. So, Oshawott evolves into a dark and water type Samurott. Decidueye evolves into a grass and fighting type. Rowlet evolves into a grass and fighting type Samurott. Or Decidueye. And Cyndaquil evolves into a fire ghost Typhlosion. Now, granted, all three of those evolutions are absolutely fire, don't get me wrong. But how is it that over time, all three of those species of Pokemon evolve into different final evolutions? Because the first and middle stages are the exact same. Only the final evolution is different. So how come in the Johto region, and actually not even just the Johto region, and even in Sinnoh in later days, also by the way, when Cyndaquil when Quilava evolves into Typhlosion, it's just pure fire type Typhlosion. Or how come in Unova, when Duat evolves into Samurott, it's just water type Samurott. And in and Kalos and Alola and Paldea and Galar, right? Or for Dartrix in Alola and Galar and Paldea, when it evolves into Decidueye, it's the grass ghost Decidueye that we all know. Now that is cool because the Decidueye we see in Hisui is the alive version, because like we already know that Decidueye is a dead owl. But that also doesn't make sense. How is it that as generations of Rowlets go by, they evolve into a dead version of themselves? Right? Like, think about that for a second. On paper, fire idea. In practice, literally doesn't make a single ounce of sense. In the slightest. I also just realized I definitely did not check out either of those ruined portals, but that's fine. It's probably just going to have a bunch of golden gear that we don't care about in them anyway. But you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That's just me, though. Like, for Legends Arceus, I thought it was really cool that we got new forms and everything, and that's just kind of like the direction Pokemon's been going in lately, is the whole new forms all the time gimmick. But I just think for continuity's sake, they probably shouldn't have done that. Or they should, well, I guess there's no way for them to make, I was going to say, or they should have made Sinnoh forms, but there's no way for them to do that either. Oh wow, we're way far away from base. Oops. I don't know, guys. That's just me. Let me know your on top of like the other stuff that we talked about today about the theories on the ruined nether portals and everything. Let me know your thoughts on that as well. If you guys have played Arceus, if you're Pokemon fans and everything, let me know your thoughts on the Hisuian forms and everything, and like what you think of. Is that an Illager outpost? No, it's another portal. Or I meant to say an Illager captain, but no, that's just the tip of a ruined nether portal. Yeah, there's home. Okay, cool. But yeah, so maps are both done, so it'll be good to put them up in our command center, which is probably where I'll let our little kitty rest at also, because for some reason he was just out in the middle of nowhere and not at home with the rest of our cats, because apparently he must have gotten lost while we were gathering up all the cats and then just randomly just got found. But at least he's back with us now. And yeah, like I said, in the next episode we're going to be back down in the mines, so that's going to be exciting. And at least I don't have to do any preparation or anything like that, because we have all of our resources that we need and everything, so that's awesome. And I guess since we are back home now, we can put the maps up in the command center. And then that'll be where we wrap up. I think I have to make another item frame also. So I think I only have the one over there. So we'll make one more really quick. I actually have the perfect amount of sticks, which is really freaking nice. Well, I would have the perfect amount if I knew how to freaking place them down. Okay. Alright, kitty, come on. We got a place to go. And that'll be where you'll end up chilling for the rest of the series. I really like what we did with the base, though, especially like putting the glass floor down and everything. I think it looks so freaking cool. Oh, and our little friend! Yay! Alright, yeah, so I said I wanted the maps to go here. Which one is this one? This is the first one. Okay. Second one, boom. Perfection. Alright, where'd our cat go? You want to sit in the corner, kitty? Okay. There we go. Alright, guys, there we go. Our maps are complete. No signs of separatist activity anywhere in the near vicinity. As you can see, our monitors are all clear as well, both the space ones and the ground ones. So we are good to go, and we'll be safe to go back exploring and mining in the next episode without a threat of attack while we're gone. And our little friend's here! Yay! So if you guys did enjoy this episode, please leave a like down below. I'd greatly appreciate that. And click that subscribe button if you guys are new. And don't forget to click that little notification bell so you guys do get notified next time videos do go live on the channel. And with that, I will see you guys on my next episode. See you later, guys.